Hello internet world, B.Freel here, and in this episode we are going to talk about three origins, where they came from. The origins are cat's got your tongue, barking up the wrong tree, and there's more way to skin a cat. Where did these origins come from? We say them, but when did they start? How did they start? Well, if you're interested, let's get to it. So let's start with the first one. Cat got your tongue? This one, doing research, may disturb a few viewers. Parental discretion advised. This one actually originated in ancient Egypt. Back in ancient Egypt days, people who were caught lying or blaspheming against a higher authority, being a pharaoh or captain, would have their tongues cut off. Their tongues would be cut off and then fed to the cats, right? I know, pretty gross. So if someone, say, was stuttering in ancient Egypt, if two people were talking and someone started to stutter, the person would ask them, "Why are you stuttering? Cat got your tongue?" They'd be wondering, are you lying? Are you about to blaspheme against the pharaoh? Cat got your tongue? That is how this word originated. Then as time went on, this phrase, this word died down as the Egyptians did less and less of feeding tongues to cats. But then in the 1800s, the British Navy would use a weapon known as a cat-o'-nine to punish people, basically whipping people. And it is said that the people who were about to be whipped would be under enormous amount of stress and fear. They would have trouble speaking as the cat-o'-nine would be presented to them, and people would tell them, "What's wrong? Cat got your tongue?"
What's wrong, ventriloquist? Cat got your tongue.
Cat got your tongue. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue?
And now for the second one, barking up the wrong tree. Now this one obviously has to do with dogs and hunting. Hunters would follow the dogs as the dogs would chase the prey up to the tree. The hunters would be several yards away as the dogs would be faster chasing the prey. The hunters would catch up to the dogs and see the dogs barking up a tree.
Oh, right. Like if you yap at it, it's going to come right down and ask you to eat it.
The hunter would wait for the prey to come down or be looking for the prey or set up a trap so when the prey comes down they would get caught in the trap. However, there were times that the dogs actually would be barking up the wrong tree. They would think the prey went up one tree when they would be in a completely different tree. So while the hunter would be setting up the trap or be waiting for the prey to come down, the prey would be getting away in a completely different tree. The hunter sometimes would notice this and be mad at the dogs after setting up the trap because the dogs were barking up the wrong tree.
Stupid dog.
And now for the third one. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Basically, this was just a literature phrase used in 1856 in a book titled Way Down East by Seba Smith. And she used this phrase in her book. There is more than one way to skin a cat. So she used this phrase and it caught on, and people actually started using it ever since. So, that is the origins of these three phrases. We use them all the time, but how many times have people actually stopped and asked, where do they come from? Well, if you have, now you know. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again.